Salutations! Welcome to the conversation. I am your host, the Queen of Shade, and I would like to formally, cordially, gleefully, and joyfully welcome you to One-on-One with the Queen of Shade Season 2. There are going to be a lot of surprises in this season. You're going to see a lot of familiar faces that have been here before, and some new ones. And it's going to be an amazing journey of discovery. Remember, these are not interviews. These are inner views. Let us see what your soul looks like. So pull up a chair and don't forget to comment, like, share, and most of all, subscribe. To follow the show, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Queen of Shade, and you can follow the show there. There's also a podcast version of the show, but that hasn't come all the way out yet. I did a soft launch, but that will be coming out too. Season 1 was absolutely crazy. There are 253 episodes of Season 1. Yes, I was running off of pure adrenaline, pure spirit, pure excitement, and we got that done. So you can expect Season 2 to be just as magnanimous and crazy and explosive. There will be some great conversations that you will be able to take things away from and apply to your natural life. So grab your favorite snacks and come on and sit down and watch. This is good watching. Now, no, it is not all for children. I am an adult, and my guests are adults. So, sweetheart, censor your children, because me and my guests, we will not censor ourselves. I love you so much, and I thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy. Now, let's get to the conversation, right? Because that's why we're here, right? Let's get to the conversation. I love you. Mwah.
You fall. The Queen of Shade.
I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one.
I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. I'm gonna get you, boy. I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. I'm gonna get you, boy. Mister, how's your wife and kids? Do they know you like to handle this? I say, mister, why punish your son? 'Cause his daddy likes my kind of fun. And at night you always call my phone. You're always asking if I'm all alone. And when I tell you that I need your love, you come running just to feel me up. One-on-One with the Queen of Shade presents New York native, singer, songwriter, producer, audio engineer, SAE alumni, recording artist, and company dancer, Santi Braz.
Salutations, Queen of Shade here, coming to you with a very special presentation. Moving forward with Season 2 of One-on-One with the Queen of Shade has been an amazing experience. We have thus far talked to amazing people, some people that are returning from Season 1, and some new people here for Season 2. Having said that, I have someone whom you need to meet today. Clearly, by his setup behind him, you can tell that he's an artist. And I enjoy speaking to artists because I don't get to wear my artist hat very often. So today I'm looking forward to this conversation because music shall be the focus. So having said that, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce to some and bring to others the artist better known as Santi, Braz.
Ooh, that whole intro.
Hi!
Hi, how you
Oh, you like
doing?
the intro?
Right.
Oh yeah,
This
we
is
gotta let her
giving.
know. We gotta let her know we business over here. We business over
All
here.
right, feel
How
me?
are you today?
I'm great. I'm great. I'm meditating, relaxed, and just been focused.
I am so elated to have you here because you're an artist through and through. I
Thank you.
remember the other day we were talking about the talent clearance form, and you were like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see it. I was mixing and mastering." And I was like, "Wow, he's a one-stop shop type artist." And I love that so much. So get this. Usually it's just a conversation. It goes back and forth. Feel free to speak as freely as you want. Feel free to use profanity. Feel free to use the N word. Feel free to be yourself. This, because you're new to this platform, but not new to me. But this platform is a platform where we welcome you and we honor you and we love you. Nothing to be nervous. I don't bite, only my enemies.
Yeah, I mean, when I first heard your name, I was like, you don't seem very shady. You seem cool. It seems very uplifting. So I was like, all right, I'll talk with her.
So get this. When I first started, I want to say 10 years ago, because this year, January 1st, was my 10-year anniversary of being the Queen of Shade for social media.
Mhm.
When I first started, it was all shade.
Oh,
I was angry. I was mad at my haters. I was mad at the sabotage. We'll get into that. From
yeah.
people in the business that just didn't want to see me prosper. I was mad at everything. So when I first started the Queen of Shade, it was kind of a letting it all hang out. It was like, like Oprah, you can get it. You can get it. You can get it. You can get it. I got time today. You can get it. Like that's, I look back on it now, a decade
Mhm.
ago, and that's how it was. But as I got into it, I started to have supporters.
Mhm.
And they would say to me, and it was so funny because I was being shady. Like I said, I was letting it all hang out. And the takeaway is what changed it. Because here I am talking about, I chose not to suck dick to get ahead, and I chose not to lay on my back, and I chose
Yeah.
not to do this.
Yeah.
And the takeaway from the audience was not she's angry, she's full of rage, she's letting it all hang out. It was, we admire your confidence to say what you feel and what
Yeah.
needs to be said.
Yeah.
And that changed it for me. So my supporters changed it. I became less and less of a shade queen, though I will retain the trademark, honey. Nobody can ever use it but me.
Yeah.
But I like to say that now I'm a different type of shade. I am a
You
tree.
grew.
Yeah, I am a tree planted by the rivers of water bearing fruit, and you can come and eat and you can shelter yourself from the sun and all those pretty things. So, yeah, we've come a long way.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like the space I'm in terms of like wealth consciousness, thinking about abundance, thinking about not the crab in the bucket mentality, but like I have so much to offer and give, but I'm giving it to myself first so that I can nurture others as well, nurture other talent. Because I got signed when I was really young. I was like 16 back in the day, and this was when I was in Atlanta. And everything was popping in Atlanta. Everybody sung, danced, everybody was getting it. I was in a musical theater company. I was with this big agent, and I was green as hell and didn't know shit. um, and I went to college right after that. Right after like things happened, and I was like, you do understand when you in the entertainment. Like my dad's a singer. It's just it's a lot. But the long journey is the most fulfilling because it's one where you discover yourself and you learn yourself and you get to talk to God. That's to be honest. Like about 2 years ago, I was in a mental institution. I had lost all my fucking mind. And I was embarrassed about it because I'd never gone like that bad down to where I was not taking care of myself. I was not coherent, and I was like seeing things, hearing things, and it just wasn't. I had separated myself from God. You know what I mean? I separated myself from my community, and it's kind of hard to talk about it because I see when people get assaulted and then they have issues after. You take so long to talk about the assault, and then it's like, damn, then I got mental health issues, my nigga. Like, god damn, like everybody knows, son. So it's kind of like it's a gift and a curse, because at the same time, you notice like people do fall off. Now I don't take it personal, because my spiritual advisor, she said something to me so beautiful. She said, anytime people are being fake and phony, it's because they're caught up in their own conversation, in their own story. So they're caught up in their own conversation about you, about what happened, about them, about whatever's going on with them. So I had to give it just love, like, oh, just forget that. It's not personal. And for me as an artist, I had spent so much time, like, because I was with this dance company for a really long time. And I did like musical theater, I done a lot of stuff, but I was really shy about stepping out on my own and showing like my own aesthetics, my own things that I had to say. I was scared even to sing in front of people. I was scared, all of that. I knew I could, but I was just like, but I had all this experience on stage, and then it just like fell through. You go through therapy on stage, but therapy is therapy. It's not the stage. So you do need actual therapy. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's been the beautiful journey of me, is like allowing myself to go with God's plan. And God is like forgiveness, number one, because that's what's going to lead you to happiness. That's what's going to lead you to peace within, not out there, because ain't nothing out there. It's all from within.
I am so excited about this conversation, because this one is one that I needed today. Even as you started off, first off, I have seen the inside of 12 mental institutions.
Mm,
I am 42 years old. When I was diagnosed bipolar 1, PTSD, and acute anxiety disorder, I was 18
mm,
and I was in college, about 18 going into 19. And I went to college in the year 2000. I graduated high school in the year 2000, and I went to college in the year 2000.
okay.
And I am very vocal about this because it will help people. And I've been talking about it for years, I mean, for years. I've described what the manic episodes are like. I've
Yeah.
described what the inner pain is like. I've described what it feels like to come out of the mental institution and feel embarrassed and ashamed for your behavior and be starting over feeling like a newborn babe.
Yeah.
And it's hereditary. The post traumatic stress is not. That comes from my hard childhood and my time in the church. The
Mm-hmm.
church hurt the church hurt because I'm feminine,
Yeah.
and I've always been feminine. So I knew what it was like to have grown men, grown women with children my age, 10 years old, destroy my spirit from the time I was 10 years old
Mm,
till 1920. So those are the formative years. Fuck those up, and like you said, the residual will be catastrophic.
mm,
I sit here with 20 years of outpatient therapy and medication under my belt,
mhm.
and I'm still in therapy, even today,
Yes,
as I
same.
am who I am, because that saved my life. And I'm going to add something to this because I was speaking to my grandmother, the Queen Mother, the Duchess of Slay. I have to say her full name or she'll be upset. So I was speaking to the Queen Mother, the Duchess of Slade, today in a private conversation. And I talked about the shame that is placed on people in my community. And what is often taught is that people like me, gays, bisexuals, pansexuals, transgender people, cannot be close to God.
Yeah.
And I have 21 years in this industry to let you know and to let the viewers know that that is absolutely false.
Right. This industry will bring you close to God. For real.
It will send you running to Him. I've said this many times, but in Paris in 2005, when I was there to be a model, bipolar as hell, but still trying to mask it and hide it, God woke me up one morning, took me to a park. I asked what the problem was. He said, "You know that you're gay, right?" And I had such a visceral reaction because at 22 years of age, realizing that on my own meant that their punishments of me were justified, meant that they were right in what they said and that I should be punished because I was a faggot.
Well, let me stop you right there and say, you are not guilty. Um, is just forgive them for what they didn't know because that's their conditioning. But at the end of the day, you are not guilty. You're not sinful. You're not all of this hellfire and brimstone. That shit will scare the hell out of you. Like I focus on, I actually been reading the Course of Miracles for about a year now. And the Course of Miracles is very, I don't know if you're familiar, but it's very like just like God, Holy Spirit, the sonship. Just like it's just like the regular, like your personal relationship with God, your inner peace. It ain't all that fire, hell, and brimstone scare the shit out of you type of thing. The winds was blowing. It's not that. It's just it's chilling, and it's really about distinguishing your ego that has you keep you separate from other people and separate from God, and in your corner and in them dark rooms get your ass up. You know what I mean? Like you can't be separate. Your choice. And I realized this. Like my reverend said this. She was like, "Your free will is to choose God or not." You know, and that reminded me. I'm like, oh, okay, because choosing other people and choosing to be in community with other people is choosing God because them's God's people, right? Like we cool. Like, and at the end of the day, I realized like music was God's frequency, was God talking to me. And so like for this next single I have coming up called Addicted, and I started to write it, and I started to write it from the viewpoint. I'm like, I changed it because my mom was like, no, do it like this. And I was like, I was like, I changed the viewpoint to where um it talks about like being addicted to someone or something or some idol. Because I started off with like, where did the time go? Lord only knows. Where did my mind go? I think it's on the floor. Oh, I don't know where, I don't know why. I can't explain. I keep coming back. No matter facts. It ain't the bottle, baby. It's just my mind lately. Oh, I think I've been hitting it hard. Maybe. And it keeps going. And I'm like, if it's from the perspective of how I talk to myself. So I actually had to do a full take and then go to sleep. That's how it's crazy when you was test. I was asleep and then I woke up and then I did another take and then I started comping all them takes. I was like 3, 4, 5 different people talking to themselves, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, I was feeling this harmony there, and I was feeling this. I'm like, well, that kind of leaves space because I kept replaying like Tevin Campbell and like all them old school '90s R&B singers that like they were just carrying on in the record, just and but it was healing. It was a conversation with you and God, really. So I'm not even talking to you anymore. I'm talking to God, and you just happen to capture this. So I realized music is not made in the studio. It's created out in the world and in love and in nature and with people. But with it comes from with exactly, but it's just captured in the studio. So now I'm just capturing, I'm just recording it, but it has to be a conversation with me and God. So I'm in prayer mode. You know, I finally finished the last part at 6 a.m. and that's when I was like, all right, I gotta go to sleep. I was like, this thing ain't mad. This thing ain't mixed worth a damn. I added a whole new part because I wanted, be able to play it, but I'm like, nah, it's not. It's not fully together. I just added a full new section, but I'm excited about it because it's coming from a real ethereal, a real authentic, a place like my inner being is being fed, heard, and I'm at a place where I'm respecting myself a lot more. And so that's what that's about. That's just an offering in a conversation with God.
I love your support. You're very good at support. I love that because even in what you were saying, I love how you jumped to you're not guilty, you're not this, you're not that.
Yeah,
And that's exactly what the divine told me. I
yeah,
asked him during that same trip, what am I going to do?
yeah,
He said, we'll deal with it. It's been
yeah.
20 something years and we've never had another discussion about it. And what I love that you said, what a lot of people do not want to do because the pain is so great. You
Mm-hmm.
said it. Forgive them.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get this. It doesn't mean you have to make them your bosom
No,
buddy,
they not your best friend. You not running over there. That we're not saying that.
but you can go
Yeah,
without the baggage.
yeah.
And I love that. And I love that you sing because, and I love you said something, and I'm going to put a highlight on it right now. I love how you said music is not made in a studio, it is captured in a studio. And I appreciate that because over the years of my entertainment career, and when because I'm on this will be my fourth album coming out this year, literally, it was that. You turn around and you're processing all of the pain, the happy, the sad. Your music is a lived experience.
Yeah. Oh,
And
that's well said.
that is the most beautiful part of it all. My best friend, shout out to you, Vic. He lives in San Antonio and he loves my first album, Billion Dollar Voice. And he always says to me, I listen to your album and I just cry because I learned how to share my pain without spilling the actual feeling into your life.
Yeah.
It's like, this is not for despair. This is not for you to lament. This is
Hmm.
for you to join me in the celebration of this happened, but my life continued.
That's what I was gonna say. Because some of the most beautiful art is given out of quote unquote pain, but really it's joy. Because you've made it through, you've survived it. Because your ego is slick. Your ego will keep you stuck and trapped and thinking the pain of the past, but really, no, I'm giving you the joy of the present. Because I'm here, I'm breathing.
I love that. The pain will keep you in the past, but I'm giving you the joy of the present. That was powerful. Everything you've said has been powerful, but that was just, yes, because when we write, we're telling what happened already, and what I love is, artists like you, when you control the narrative,
Yeah.
you can keep the focus.
Yeah. Oh
You
wow, that's powerful.
Yeah, when you control the narrative, you can keep the focus because, I one thing about me, I love being indie. I remember walking away from a major label deal in my 20s and they said, "You're stupid. You'll never make it. You'll be an old man." And
Mhm.
all these things. And they've since apologized. They've since apologized. But independence is something that I value.
Mhm.
I noticed that you said, that's why I smiled when you said I got signed at 16. First of all, congratulations. That's hard to do. It's hard to do. I want to validate every single thing in your life because I have learned over the course of my therapy, over the course of my life, that we are a culmination of things that happened to us and
Mhm.
we processed it. And a lot of people say, oh, I wish I could take this out of my life. And I wish this didn't happen. And I wish that didn't happen. And, I've had some pretty egregious things happen to me too.
It was a lesson.
and it made you who you are.
Yeah.
You would be a different person today if you didn't have any of the experiences that you had. And see, people don't like to think that, but it's true. I can back it up with science. My biology study in high school and college, that cells, we are nothing but cells. We are a composition of cells. And whatever is happening to a cell, it will make a biological adaptation.
Yeah.
It will adjust for anything and everything that happens in our lives. And that is a beautiful, beautiful ability. And that comes from God, only God. You
Yes.
can't, like you said, you can't create that in a studio.
Well, you mentioned a big point about cells because I was reading about like a long time ago epigenetic memory
Hmm.
and like how that can like trauma can trigger that, right? Can change your cellular DNA. But this is the thing I've been like because of the trauma that I experienced a couple of years ago. So what I did after being assaulted, I actually because I still sometimes I'll flash back and stuff. But now I realize, and I was listening to a bunch of different podcasts for wellness and well-being. This guy was talking about your thoughts, basically, right? Because your thoughts can trigger cells for disease, sickness, depression. So it starts in your thinking. It starts with your mind. Obviously, I mean, I've been clinically diagnosed schizophrenic. Um, but I don't put a lot of it's triggering to talk about, but I don't put a lot of on it anymore. It's just a description. It's not real. And to be honest, I feel like I was misdiagnosed. I feel like what I had was PTSD from assault, but we can play semantics all we want. It was what it was, what it was. But at the end of the day, I understand it's my thinking. It was my thinking. And a lot of other people of color, black, brown folks, Caribbean folks, immigrant folks, we all have different traumas, right? All have different isms we've experienced. And that's why I promote like therapy and something else that has you at peace, maybe a spiritual life as well. Spirituality ain't therapy though. You need to like have it. I do believe you need to have it separate. Whatever keeps you spiritually sane and at peace, beautiful. And then also, because therapy, you also plan, you also strategize, you make goals in therapy. It's not just like what's wrong with you and crying. That's what people think. It's like, man, like you gotta chill and it gets you still because then you can start planning your life. You can start creating on purpose. So now I'm about that. I got this straight up from not what's her name, Abraham Hicks, when she was talking about like allowing things into your vortex. So yeah, what you allow into your vortex. And now I'm like, all right, I got to stop Magic Mike in it. I was stripping. I was like, I'm gonna end that. I slowly, finished the adult OnlyFans stuff. Not really doing that too much anymore. I mean, it's up, but I'm gonna delete it soon. This is making the transformation. It's difficult because it's like, ooh, I need this money. It's hard to say no, but I'm like, nah, I got to keep it cute. There's a higher plan, and I got to stay above the battleground. There's a higher plan that God is calling me to, um, that will lay, a beautiful foundation if I just like stay focused.
Yeah, I love that, and I want to offer you this, and this is not something new to you. This is not something you haven't heard, but everything in your life serves you for a reason.
Yeah.
You had it for a season, and it
Yes.
served you for that season, and
Yes.
you are allowed to discard it when it no longer serves you. You know,
Yes.
you are allowed to put it down. You are allowed to change the trajectory of your life. You are allowed to go in a different, direction. And
Yeah.
it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. No, I was just going off what you said. You just made me think like, well, right when you said that, I'm thinking, oh, I'm not a victim.
Mhm.
You're right. Like I I did what I did once upon a time not long ago. I wasn't okay. But at the same point, it's like it taught me, at a certain point, I did the OnlyFans thing. It did make me heal a lot of stuff and make me kind of control my own body and control how I looked. And I'm like, oh, I feel sexy again. I feel good about myself. But then I'm like, some of it was like, all right, I can skip this experience. But for the most part, it's cool. The stripping was it's an experience. I've been on and off magic macking it. Magic, I call it magic marking it, but stripping since like my first time in graduate school. Well, I did a little bit of undergrad, but mostly was in when I was in grad school, and then again this past when I just finished engineering school. I went to back to school for audio engineering, music production to learn like the business side, all the Pro Tools, Ableton, all the Logic, everything, the big SSL, everything, all that, the audience, okay, live sound, everything. So I trained on that and the O2R as well. But then during that night, I would be stripping, so I would be like, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, you work at a bar, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." They like, "Oh, you look like a bartender," and I'm like, "Yeah, yo, absolutely." I ain't tell nobody about Twitter. I was just like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't say none of that, especially this past year. I ain't say none of that smoking. And now that I'm done with school, everybody like some of my old classmates are like, "Well, where was this Santi?" Because I was completely different. I mean, I was like, you know what I mean, buttoned up, queued up. The drawers was coming out the bag, the thong was coming out the bag, but I was like, I got this bachelorette party. I got this. I'm not even going to front. I did do a bachelorette party a couple weeks ago because my boy asked me, but I haven't been. I've been mostly at the club. I mostly work downtown. Everybody knows Monster Bar and all those places, so I'll be there. But I'm trying to stay away. If you catch me back 1 or 2 weeks, this credit card bill need to be paid, player. The streams ain't streaming just yet. I ain't released everything just yet, but I'm just keeping it real. I'm just doing it myself because my end goal is to get a distribution deal, not a regular record deal. Just because I want to take control of everything, and I know how to do everything. I'm gonna be honest and cut costs that way. I'd rather be a subsidiary and do that. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I don't. It's no secret. I've been supporting black and brown men since 2003.
Yeah, I've seen.
I have thousands of them that I know, and I cater especially, and I've asked a lot of people to come to my platform because I humanize them.
Yeah.
And I allow people to realize that they're human because I have thousands of young men that call me queen, mom, dad, and they're OnlyFans creators, they're porn stars. I've talked to the most amazing. I've had the opportunity. Max Connor's a friend of mine, Deep Dick's a friend of mine, and the list goes on and on and on. Jason Zhu has been to my camera, like all of them. Chino Black, all of these
Yeah.
beautiful knockout, fame, Rico Pruitt. I know all these people, and one thing that I love is that I always tell them, there's nothing wrong with what you do. You know, you are a being and you are allowed to create whatever narrative you need. And, I was doing, because I do monologues, that's what made me go viral back in 2015, these monologues. But today's monologue spoke about the fact that, most people don't realize that you wouldn't want a thing if you weren't destined to have it.
Wow.
That was the message that the divine
Ooh.
gave me today. It came today.
Ooh.
So I'm sharing it with you because it was literally the message that I was given today. And I can back that up with proof. You
Wow.
see millionaires, you see billionaires, you see all of these people, and you wonder how they got there. You know that it was hard work, but you're like, my God, like it's just there's so much, so much, so much. I guarantee you, they wanted it as soon as they were able to have individual thought as a child. They
Yeah.
wanted, they wanted it, and a lot of people don't realize the second half of that. When you don't get what you innately want, You have to
Mhm.
question what you did. See, people don't like to put the onus on them. And I don't mean OnlyFans and this is that and the other. I mean haters. How did you block someone else? How did you shit on someone else's name? And what happens is when they do, instead of staying focused and minding the business that pays them, they
Yes.
forfeit everything that they innately wanted and they're left with nothing but opinion and judgment. And a lot of people don't understand that. And
They're projecting.
yeah, yeah. And that was what came to me today. I don't want anything in my life that I'm not destined to have. Because if I wasn't destined to have it, I
You
wouldn't.
wouldn't want it.
It's
Yeah.
just that simple. And, for me, I have a lot. I have a lot of ambition. I have men that I've known forever, like I said, 2003. So they've watched my climb, they've watched my career, and they know I am getting everything I want. And people tell you, you can't have it all. True, but you can have what you want. It's a difference.
Yeah.
No, you can't have it all because you're not destined to have it all. And if you really give yourself the benefit of the doubt, you don't want it all.
I think having it all is subjective. Yeah, because it's like you said. If I didn't want it, that's not a part of my all. My all is different than your all.
Exactly. I like how you said that. My all is different from your all. Exactly. Exactly. My all is different from your all. And that has allowed me to be able to support these men around the globe. And they go off and they be and they do. I've never been a jealous person. I've never been a hater because I've always said, I'm proud of what you accomplished because it motivates me to keep going after what I want. And I say to myself, well, if that could happen for you, then what I want can happen for me. I have this saying when I post these original memes, and down in the corner it says, always and everyone, when your delusion works.
Oh, I love that.
Yes. See, being bipolar, it's two poles. I literally would be manic, and when I was manic, I would create masterpieces. And I realized that through therapy, I wasn't being cured. I was given the tools
Yeah.
to manage my superpower.
That's what I'm gonna say. You're managing. You're organizing the chaos. That's all.
Being type 1 bipolar gave me a lot of energy,
Yeah.
and I needed that energy for the last decade of my life. I have over 60,000 monologues, 3 albums, and more music to come. I have, services and all these things that I offer, products and merchandise, all these things. I needed that energy.
Mhm.
My mental illness was never an illness. It was a leg up and it was an advantage. And yours is too. It's an advantage. It enables you to get what you want because what you need to get what you want is spiritual magic. You need to be different. You need to not be the same or be normal because what you want is not normal.
Well, I take actually. This got me really more empowered because now I realize that I'm taking away all specialness because we all special, right? We all fabulous. We all amazing. We all can dance, sing, and act, and that's beautiful. That's basic black. Everybody good. Now what? Now it's like, who am I? What story do I have to tell? So now I'm thinking about it as I'm a storyteller. That's our legacy. How can I tell a narrative in the most thought out way that's nuanced, but also allows for dialogue? And that's not of the ego, but of my inner self.
Yeah, and I'm going to add to that. Also, you're telling the story in the most authentic way that
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
that you can. You see, one thing about me, I'm more of a businessman today, but I will always be an artist. And I love that side because Even in my business, people, like you said earlier, people are always trying to separate themselves.
Mm.
And what I learned, they're like, oh, I'm gonna leave this over here and I'm gonna leave this over here and this is, and what the divine did with me was mix it all together. Let it get a muddy, muddy brown color.
Mm.
Let all those colors turn around and come together. And people are like, oh my God, it looks like shit.
Now it
It's
looks like gold, baby.
green and this and that. And it's like, no, baby, this is the fertilizer for my crop that I'm
Right.
about to reap my harvest from. I'm about to plant in this. And
Like gold.
it is the moment that you embrace the difficulty that you begin to change on that cellular level.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
know, yeah, you begin to evolve.
Yeah.
You begin to actually see the path. With my career, I had a lot of people angry with me, but it was a path that they could not see. I invented my own genre of music. And the crazy thing about it was that when I was doing it, it was never my intention. I just wanted to get my story out there.
Yeah.
I just wanted my voice to be heard.
You just wanted to play.
Yeah.
There's
And
nothing wrong with that.
and literally I watched as the golden bricks laid out of thin air that yellow brick road.
Mm.
I watched that happen and I
Mm.
just walked my journey. And
Mm.
that's why I sit here with all that I have, all that I am. Because yes, it was difficult, but I never once tried to abandon or shuck off any part of my journey. I literally embraced it all. All that anger at my mother and my father for
Mm.
mental illness being passed, I let that all go.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
I let it all go.
Mm.
Because truth be told, they didn't wake up and say, I'm going to have mental illness and I'm going to pass it to my child. They didn't say
Mm.
that. I find that there is a lack of empathy in the world. There is a lack of compassion and understanding. And what I love most about the world, though, is most artists have some kind of anxiety or mental thing, I'll call it a thing, going on
Mm.
because the world and how we relate to it, it changes our brains.
Yeah. Yeah.
It literally, like you said, cellular, it changes who we are.
The call is great.
Yes, I was telling my grandmother today. I said, you know what I love about God? And she said, what? I said, he's never through. He's never through. You may think, oh, it's a masterpiece now. And he goes,
Mm.
okay, that's great. And then he walks away and you're like, oh, you're marveling at it and you're beholding it and you're praising him for it. And then he walks back and with a brush, and you're like, what are you doing? It's perfect. It's perfect. And he's just like, hmm. And you're like, oh, what was that? Wait a minute. He's
Yeah.
like, oh. And then you go, oh, but it's perfect now. It's perfect now. That was it. That was genius.
Well, the best art is the type of art that continues.
It continues.
Yeah.
That is why, even as beings, we continue.
Yeah.
Matter is neither created nor destroyed. He said before we were formed in
Transform.
our mother's wombs, he knew us, which means we had to already be.
Yeah.
He had to already be. Which is why even when we leave here, we don't
Mhm.
disappear.
Well,
No.
that's kind of like because you mentioned being. That's kind of like my conversation is right now is like it has to be in the being. It's not in the being, like I am sound, like I have to be it. Because it's very easy to be like, well, I can't find this in nobody, and I can't find blip, 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 and blip, blip. Yo, Smokey, well, how about you be it? Like, you just be magnificent. You be audacious. You be fun. You be friendly. You be joyous. You be a kid again. And also, that energy will allow it will allow for more energy to come into, or allow more people to come into my life that can match that. But I have to match that frequency. I have to be that frequency, because you're not going to get it if you're not matching that frequency. You know, that's really why people reach their goals faster than others, because your ego will trick you and tell you got to go through a whole bunch of shit to get there. You actually don't. You actually is here. So condition your mind a certain way.
Thoughts become things.
Yeah, you do. You do.
It's
That's why you
just
got to be careful what you think. But now I'm at a point where I'm like, I'm not gonna make myself wrong for thinking weird. Like if it goes off, I'm like, oh, that's the monkey thought. That's not real. But the thoughts that I put my attention to and my focus on, that's what I want to. That make me feel good. That empower my spirit. That's what I can. That's what I can choose to manifest.
yeah, I like that. And I'm going to stay there for a second. I like that because we have something that, I'm going to explain to the people. Every thought is not yours. We have thoughts called intrusive thoughts. They happen without your consent. And what you have to do is what you just said. I learned in therapy, I got the tools to just sit and let every thought come my way, feel them, hear them,
Mm-hmm.
understand them or not. And what happens is when I have a thought that I can use, I grab it.
Yeah,
I let all the thoughts just wash over me.
that you can
And I
use.
see one and I'm like, oh, I can use that.
I can use that.
And then, and let all the rest just
Yeah,
continue to have. I used to have suicidal thoughts really badly for many, many years.
can't use none of that shit.
Exactly. But get this. I learned to sit with my suicidal thought. I realized I don't have to make good on this thought.
Right.
I don't have to embrace this thought. So I sat and I let my mind do what it was doing.
Yeah, you're
And
a
some
note to death.
yeah, some people will be like, "Oh my God, that's crazy." No, it's not. I didn't grab the thought,
Yeah,
which is why I can tell you, "Oh yeah, I've had suicidal thoughts. Mental illness, I've had suicidal thoughts." But I never grabbed it. I never grabbed it. Grabbed it once when I was younger. And I was like 23, 24.
mm-hmm.
And my friend intervened and gave me knowledge and wisdom. She said, baby, don't do it. Because literally, you are going to leave your body, float above your existence, and you're going to look down the road in the line of time and see everything you forfeited that was good for you.
Yeah,
And literally, I didn't stay because of the promise. I stayed because of the curiosity. I said, what
yep.
if I make it? What if I actually do make it?
That's
Never.
the thing.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I had to
What if
know.
you actually make it? Yeah.
I had to know. And that thought kept me here 21 years.
Guess what though? You've already made it. It's already there. It's already happened.
Oh, baby.
It's
Oh,
already
baby.
happened.
Baby, my empire is vast. It's vast. I know that. But what people don't understand is, you know, timing is a part of it. There's a lot of things. I tell my grandmother,
Divine timing.
one of my favorite movies is Elizabeth, starring Kate Blanchett.
Okay.
And, Mary is queen, which is her sister. And literally they're trying the Catholic priests and all, they're trying to uphold the Catholic religion, and they're trying to get Mary to sign the death warrant of her sister because her sister is a half sister. The king stepped out on her mother, and they're trying to get her to execute her sister, and she can't. And literally, her sister is under house arrest at her castle.
Oh yeah, Mary Queen of Scots, when she tried to kill her sister. Yeah, because he was trying to
Yeah.
conquer
But
England.
get
Yeah.
this, she's under house arrest, and she literally just had to wait.
Mhm.
She was literally under armed guard, and they were all just waiting. And
Mhm.
I was just saying that to my grandmother today. I said, I've been understood what season I'm in. It's
Mhm.
not a new season. I'm waiting.
Mhm.
It's all built. The diamonds are in the case. And no, everyone can't afford a diamond of my caliber. So I have to wait for the right buyers.
Mhm.
So I sit and I wait. And while I wait, I create and polish and make other diamonds out of the people around me. or that hire my services or that watch my monologues online. I make
Oh, I
other,
get what you're saying. Yeah.
yeah, I make other diamonds. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Because iron sharpens iron, diamond sharpens.
Well, all we have is to create. That's really what we're here for. Is to love. Oh, hold on, sirens going out. New York. My bad.
Can't even hear it.
Oh, okay, cool. But no, I was gonna say, all we have is to create, and as humans, we are meaning making machines. We're gonna create. Um, and I just want to create responsibly. I want to create in the frequency and vibration of love. Um,
Intent.
huh?
Intent.
Yeah, yes, with intent. Yeah, 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 absolutely. Yeah, creating deliberately, absolutely.
The
But
intent. The intent.
uh-huh.
The intent matters. If you, and I said that today too, when you know your intention,
Hmm.
when you do, when you act, when you interact with other people, you know your intention. And I love what you're saying because I'm the same way. My intent is pure.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yep, yep.
Sure. You know,
Yeah.
people don't understand that you can control your destiny.
Oh
It's
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
etched in stone. You can change it. I did mine. This was not the life that I was going to have. But mental illness entered my life and I needed to pivot. And I made a conscious decision to pivot. And when I pivoted, I went down a dirt road that had no road. And I
Hmm.
started building a road. And
Hmm.
now there's a highway where I tread and
Well, now
trod.
you just get to create. You created a sandbox of like just everything that you get to create that has you be well. So there's nothing wrong with that. Some people just are more aware than others. What has me be well is I got to create all day, and I'm not gonna stop creating. I'm not gonna stop making art. Like you were saying, facilitating and helping others make their art or highlighting about their art or even just talking to people about their own wellness. That is a gift. That is also like, in indigenous culture, like both my grandpas are like my grandpa's from Oklahoma Res and my other grandpa's from Amazon, Guyana. And like they talk about like in indigenous communities, the trans and LGBTQ people, two spirited individuals were, those that are connected to the spirit world.
Mhm.
There's even this legend though that I looked up a long time ago called the Maui people. And the Mauus were like supposed to be from Tahiti, and they came to this island of Hawaii, and then I think it was Hawaii, or one of the islands there. And then they actually like killed a lot of the people there. They were like born male, but like feminine, like two spirited people. And then they actually took all their powers and they put it in the rocks and went up to the sky.
Love that.
So, yeah.
I love that. You're hitting all the boxes. My entire community knows that I'm two spirited. My entire community knows that I am a prophet, a seer, a healer, a medium, clairvoyant, a phoenix, a fury, a mentor, an oracle. They know these things because it is how I've been able to do what I do.
Mhm.
That connection to the spirit world. I've never burned out. I've delivered 60,000 monologues from the spirit
Mhm.
world, literally. And I
It's
remember
beautiful.
it. Yeah, it's beautiful. I'm so very fortunate and so very thankful to have been used
Yeah.
by spirit and the
Yeah.
ancestors and the divine to do what I do. But I remember in the beginning when I was afraid that I would burn out. And that
Mhm.
was year one. I said, oh my God, I'm going to run out of things to say. And the divine said to me, baby, you are tapped into an infinite source, which means there are an infinite way to talk about every topic. You can talk about love infinite ways. You
Yeah.
can talk about self healing infinite ways. And that's exactly, I've never worried again about not having anything to say because every
Mhm.
time I hit record on my camera, it's there.
Yeah.
It's there.
Yeah.
And I've never delivered the same message twice.
Yeah.
Never.
I got that same message actually about infinite love
Mhm.
during the pandemic. I was actually I like falling in love with this girl actually. Whole another story, but I fell in love with this girl and the message that got back to me was you're gonna be like you're gonna be great in the next relationship. It's not gonna work out with this. It's not. I was like, damn, really? Like what? I'm like, she crazy. All right, but no, God bless her. But it's just this is to heal you. This is a lesson. So your next relationship, your next encounter, whatever it may be, maybe just business relationships, whatever, romantic, whatever it is, you're gonna be stellar. Like you're gonna be like just it's it's not gonna be it's gonna be like water. There's gonna be infinite love that you're gonna have. Even when people that give you a bunch of rah rah, you're gonna be like, oh, you just need a hug.
Training grounds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Learn. We learn, a lot of people, you can Google a lot of things. You can't Google life experience.
Mm-hmm.
You can't Google that. You can't Google the struggles, the hardships that you need to build your character, to build your patience. You can't Google those things. You
Mm-hmm.
can't Google the divine way of doing things. That as soon as you open your mouth, essence of everything that is and can ever be is there. There are some things you just can't clone. And we all have that power. I literally said in a monologue before this, and I always love that because I never know how these conversations are going to go, but what I love is they tie into what I was speaking from the
Mm-hmm.
spirit world beforehand. And literally I said, I am me and you are you. I am me, I am you and you are me.
Yeah.
And literally everything that I have access to, you have access to.
Yeah, because everyone is a reflection of you. That's why I say when somebody acting crazy, you say, "Well, that relationship didn't work out. It was me. It was really me." That's why I chuckle because I'm like, "Well, hell, I was crazy as hell then too." So we were a great match for each other. I'm hanging stuff on the wall, baby. You everything for me. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I love that because like you said, we go from strength to strength.
Mm,
Everything teaches us.
yeah.
Everything trains us. Everything makes us better. Everything. I've had some pretty egregious things happen in my life before I got here
Yeah.
because people just thought that they could do whatever they wanted to me.
Mhm.
Being a marginalized person, they just thought, oh, we can do this and no one
Mm.
will come looking. But the spirit world saw.
Well, you're not your skin either. And isn't it great that we're all each other's smoky mirror? But you're not your skin. You're not this body. You're a spiritual being having a human experience. So
Yes.
this is the illusion anyway. We could just be chill. And I'm not mad at the illusion. It's a cute illusion. It's pretty. So I'm like, hey, we can party down here real quick. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah. And what I love that because that is so true. And, most people don't understand that for spirit world, this is the dream state.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the dream state. And
You
one
think we
day,
the dream or we the dream?
yeah, and one day, that's why I tell people death is not the end. One day you're going to open and realize that was a dream.
Yeah, exactly.
Open those eyes and realize, wow, and I learned so much in that dream. You know,
Learned a lot. Yeah.
it's kind of funny because even those, I have a lot of Hollywood connections and I listen to them a lot, and they always describe their lives and the inception of their careers as being a dream. Oh,
Yeah.
if a dream come true, all of this is. And it behooves us, like you said, to have that infinite love, that eternal understanding,
Mm-hmm.
and that emotional maturity. Because literally, like you said, these are lessons. You
Mm-hmm.
only have wins and lessons. No,
Yeah. Yeah. You only have wins and lessons.
yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Do you know our hour is over?
Ooh.
It's
That
over.
went by quick.
Yes, because we had a very spiritual, very authentic conversation. Spirit spoke through you, Spirit spoke through me. And that's just what it was. So listen, season one, I used to do end my conversations by saying, give me three things that inspire you and empower you. But I'm not doing that for season two. Season two is I say, make a wish, which is not really a wish, it's more of an affirmation. If you could have anything in the world or beyond, what would you ask for? What would be your wish?
Ooh, family, loving family.
And what I love is, like you said, you will be the loving family, and then you will create the family that loves you. So amazing. Don't go away. Ladies and gentlemen, you have heard the vocal stylings of Mr. Santi Braz. Did you enjoy? Was the conversation everything you thought it would be? It was for me. I love catching up with my friends. It was absolutely amazing. So if you thought it was amazing, please continue to watch, comment, like, and share. And most of all, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I love you, and I do this for you. Good, wholesome content about self-love, self-confidence, and self-healing. The Queen of Shade loves you all. Remember my name, the Queen of Shade. Mwah.
I wish you could have more of me, but I'm questioning your loyalty. But you know my love is never free. Little boy, come get your daddy, please. And I wish you could have more of me, but I'm questioning your loyalty. But you know my love is never free. Little boy, come get your daddy, please. I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. I'm gonna get you, boy. I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. I'm gonna get you, boy. I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. I'm gonna get you, boy. I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. I'm gonna get you, boy.
Hey, Queen of Shade here. Make sure you check out all of the music that you heard in this episode. Right now, streaming on all platforms. How do you find it? Simply place in my name, the Queen of Shade, wherever you stream your music, and let the music listening begin.
Please subscribe to the Queen of Shades YouTube today for over 1,000 original videos created by the Queen herself. Subscribe today.
Don't worry, I'm a professional.